Today, we're going to explore a really fascinating, hidden connection in medicine, one that links a pill that millions of people take for their heart to the health of their bones. Let's see how that's even possible.
I mean, think about it for a second. It's probably a question you've never even thought to ask. You take a medicine for one specific issue, right? But the human body, it's this incredibly complex, interconnected system. So could a pill for your heart really have an impact on your skeleton? Well, that's the puzzle we're digging into today.
So, on one side of this puzzle, you've got beta blockers. These are super common drugs, really a cornerstone for treating heart conditions. And on the other side, you've got osteoporosis, a disease that makes bones weak and brittle. For a long, long time, these were seen as being in two totally separate medical worlds.
But it turns out there is a bridge connecting these two worlds. And maybe surprisingly, it's a hormone you already know pretty well, just probably not in this context. It's melatonin.
Yep, the sleep hormone. We all know it as the conductor of our internal clock. It's that signal that tells our body, okay, it's nighttime, time to wind down. But as it turns out, melatonin's job description is actually much, much bigger than just that.
This is kind of like melatonin's secret resume. Beyond just sleep, it's a really powerful antioxidant, it helps fight inflammation, and it even helps regulate our immune system. And, this is the key for our story today, it plays a direct, vital role in supporting our bone health.
Okay, so this brings us right to the heart of the research, because it turns out that not all beta blockers are created equal. A study took a close look at two really common ones, Bisoprolol and Nebivolol, to see how each one interacts with melatonin.
And the results? Well, they were night and day. The study found that Bisoprolol significantly cuts down the body's natural release of melatonin at night. Nebivolol, on the other hand, had no effect on melatonin levels whatsoever. This is a really critical distinction.
So how big was this effect? Well, taking bisoprolol led to a 44% drop in the body's nighttime melatonin. That is a huge reduction, especially when you think that this is happening right when the body is supposed to be in its peak repair cycle.
So we've established that one of these drugs really tanks your melatonin. Now for the big question, why does that matter for our bones? How does this connection actually work?
All right, let's use a simple analogy here. Imagine your bones are in a constant state of renovation, kind of like a construction site. You have a team of builder cells called osteoblasts, and their job is to form new bone. Then you have a demolition crew, the osteoclasts, and they break down old bone. For your skeleton to be healthy, you need a perfect balance between these two teams.
So, where does melatonin fit into this? Well, it's like the site supervisor. Its job is to keep everything in balance. It encourages the builders, the osteoblasts, to get to work, and at the exact same time, it tells the demolition crew, the osteoclasts, to kind of slow down and take it easy. It's this two-part action that helps keep our bones strong and dense.
And hey, this isn't just a convenient analogy. The science totally backs this up. As the research here says, the natural decline in melatonin as we age is directly linked with more bone breakdown, which, you guessed it, speeds up osteoporosis.
Okay, so let's connect all the dots now. We can actually lay out the entire chain of events based on what the science is showing us. First piece of the puzzle, we have the clear-cut finding from the study. The beta blocker bisoprolol causes a major drop in nighttime melatonin. Check. Second piece, we have the established biological fact that lower levels of melatonin are linked to an imbalance in that bone remodeling process, one that leads to bone loss. Check.
So, the final step, the inference. Now, it's super important to be clear here. The research doesn't say that bisoprolol causes osteoporosis. What it does is reveal a potential indirect pathway. By lowering melatonin, the drug might be weakening the site supervisor that's protecting our bones. Over time, that could contribute to bone loss. And Nebivolol? Well, since it doesn't mess with melatonin in the first place, it just wouldn't have the same potential risk.
So what's the big takeaway from all of this? What does this specific connection tell us about medicine and our health in a broader sense? I think the most important lesson here is that the details really, really matter. It's so easy to just lump all beta blockers into one bucket and think they're the same. But this research shows that even within the same class, individual drugs can have totally different effects on the body. Understanding these tiny differences is absolutely key.
And that kind of leaves us with this fascinating final thought. The human body is this unbelievably complex network. If a heart pill can be connected to bone health through the sleep hormone, what other amazing, unseen connections are just out there waiting for us to discover them?